Zoom room because the previous room is not able to accommodate so many people. So we changed to this room. So please give us a few minutes and allow us to have more partners, friends, and members to log in, because the message just sent out to GLG group
Fred, to you.
Thank you, King. Thank you very much for the review. Actually, do not know that this PowerPoint is in the back office under the resources. They can find that, right? And if you like to translate it into your own language, you can actually rewrite it into a PowerPoint, and then you can actually allocate and share this information with your team. I have been doing this revision explanation, right, in our region from the Chinese-speaking community over the past month. Right, and even today, this morning, we are doing the same topic like what King have been sharing with you in Taiwan, in Taichung training today. So, and a lot of our members in the chat is actually asking about exchange and things like that. But if you have been reading the every Friday progressive report from the first report to the 12th report, you will actually get information and get noted, right? What is the progress and how is it progressing, right? And we understand that some people are just reading what they want to read and ignore the rest. So today we have our GLG Inner Circle member, Mr. Dustin Tobrika from the Balkans, to give you a quick summary of what this 12 weeks is all about, and listen really with your ears open, with your heart open, with your mind open, and registered it, okay? And not just asking when is the date and blah blah blah, right? So now let us hand the mic to Mr. Dustin, and Dustin, here you goes, right, all the way from Balkan.
Thank you, Fred, and thank you, King, for nice presentation. You're always direct and on the point. Thank you very much for that. To be remembered what is the core of the OneEcoSystem. Also, I see in the chat always those questions: when is exchange, when we're starting, actually, secret is that if everybody read and analyze those reports, answer for that question is practically when you summarize all those reports, and then you will have the answer when can a change happen approximately. Not exactly, as there is too many factors which affect it, but actually in some average time which can happen. So that's the point. That's why we will go through that process of being listed on exchange. And first, after all, I'm also, as you all here, independent market associate. So practically what I will share and speak about is what you all also have, that reports from every Friday, even Monday, if delay in report. So that 13th report probably will be at the Monday. So let's not be stressful about that. And let's not stick to dates. If not happening Friday, will be another week, no problem. We can wait it. So this process of being listed on exchange is a very long process. And I know that most of the people thought that it needed to happen earlier. But you saw what's happening on the market and what right now happening. Rules and regulations are pretty slow, and it's not happened as we wanted. You know, that rules and regulation of cryptocurrency, crypto assets around the globe. And 2019 is starting more and more to governments speak about it publicly, and I think now it's the right time to we even start with it. But it's very complex process. We'll go through it through the reports pretty fast. First info we got it from January. about from corporate about that our coin is one step away from going on exchange. And after that, January, we got 12 weeks about reports and process. How we going to that step to really be listed on the exchange? And it's very, very detailed reports. This is what is King already said about exchange. I will only say in this part that practically exchange and remittances are less piece of the puzzle of our OneEcoSystem, which need to be completed. And that OneEcoSystem will be completed, and that is our start after it's completed, not our end. That's what we need to know, everybody. So we started with that. I call it 0 point, where we need to start to work even harder than we did, and a lot of time is in 2015-16. So that's our time to work like never before after the exchange launch. And of course, OneEcoSystem, you can see King also shown the exchange remittances are less parts of our OneEcoSystem. I will share now another. Give me a sec for exchange reports. It's very pretty detailed. I will go pretty fast. We don't have time to go through all. This intro means first phase of that process was to getting non-European license for exchange, for remittances, and for third-party management. Second phase was European license for exchange and for remittances, and third phase for other countries outside of that, which actually means for Latin America, Africa, etc. Fourth phase are countries which ban trade in cryptocurrencies. There is not many countries who ban the cryptocurrency trading, but there are some like Kuwait, Malaysia, because of Sharia law, etc. Not many, but still some countries ban. And you will see exchange will start to work for non-regulated jurisdictions and also in jurisdiction from where he has the license. So that means countries who didn't ban the cryptocurrency and trading at whole that exchange can start in those countries. Only in countries where exchanges and cryptocurrencies is banned, there is no possibility to start exchange. There will be needed case by case to talk with governments and financial authorities in those countries. Then you can see key points. We go fast. In first week, which we had, is started to test functional exchange. So company, and let's make an introduction about it. We have the company, corporate OneCoin, right? One Life, and we have exchange company. That's a different thing. So exchange company is third-party company, which doing that part about exchange, right? About everything of that. So that's another company. So it started to first test functional exchange, deposit of OneCoin and fiat currency into the system, about exchange, test about withdrawals, trading, and KYC. So they started about that first. Of course, second thing is Dealshaker need to be connected to exchange. Of course, we have original Dealshaker.com, you know the website all. So that was needed to be connected with exchange. Limits then, because you know that if we want the coin be stabilized, to have stable price on the exchange, we need to have some limits. We will see. For now, what we know is that limits will be per day. If for weekly and monthly limits for selling the coin, we don't know yet if that will be decided with cooperation with the central bank and exchange company and everything. We will see, but for limits per day is known for now, and it needs to be discussed for central banks. Then you can see the first phase procedure of licensing is in evaluation phase, and revision of cryptocurrencies. Which cryptocurrencies need to be on that is some of cryptocurrencies in process of approval. So central bank with exchange company and our corporate help, they work on approval on cryptocurrencies, approval on fiat currency. OneCoin is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dogecoin, etc. And some fiat currencies you can see here: Australian dollar, British pound, Chinese yuan, euro, etc. So all fiat and cryptocurrency need to go through central bank approvals. This is very important. So it's not us who will say this and that cryptocurrency will be approved. No, central bank along with exchange company and our corporate help, they cooperate about it and need to be all through the central bank approvals. Legal documents are final, sent to final review. Okay, they did about that. And this, what you can see, some another platform is needed, is not mandatory. There's a customer due diligence platform, which will be independent platform for all monitoring that is diligence about is everything going along with compliance and all those rules and regulations. That is mandatory, and you will see later when they will build it. Then we got second week. You can see now deposit function from OneLife to exchange is tested and as good, which means it's progress. People saying every week, same report, nothing changes. No, that's not true. We need to read a little more. There is a lot of progress. Also, then some minor bugs for withdrawals are done. Some bug occurred, so they need to fix. Okay, limits for selling and fees are being discussed, so that need to be done. Then waiting from central bank about payment gateways, which is very important. A lot of people ask about payment. Do we have some debit cards? When we will have it? What's going on with that? So exchange company also talks about that payment gateways with central bank, which is most appropriate for this kind of platform which we have, our OneEcoSystem. So there is talk about payment gateways. Payment gateways is like, let's say, MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, you name it. So that's very important to be discussed and finalized. There is the process for it. It's not easy. So you can see, waiting from central bank about payment gateways. There is a way. Connection of Dealshaker chains need to be done. So you can see when you buy on Dealshaker something, you see transactions in your OneLife, because some people saying there is no blockchain. Oh yeah, there is blockchain and every transaction is made. In you can easily see when you buy something Dealshaker, you can see your transaction there that you bought something and everything is written. And what they did, they connected Dealshaker with that exchange platform. Also, OneLife, the platform which we use as a community, is from OneLife. We will send coins on selling orders. We will do through OneLife community everything through the OneLife platform there. And there was some demo version. GLG and Inner Circle member saw that, how that part of withdrawal of coins done and fiat currency, and it was successful. And you can see there is no legal objection about licensing. This is very important now, because I chat people saying who is the company, who runs the company, who are owners, who are directors. You can see central bank has completed the procedure and he has approved company's ownership structure, the scope of work, etc. What it means? Central bank got all the legal papers. Who are the company? Who are the owner? Who are the directors? Before even we can't continue without that. And you can see that central bank approved it. So why we need to ask them who is the owner when central bank approved it? It's important that they know everything, because they're giving us license, not IMS. This is very important. These week applications, you can see 2 European licenses, they have been set up. Then we're going week 3. I will speed up now. Deposit to function, OneLife exchange running smoothly. In previous week, you saw they need to test it. Now, in 1 week, they're saying running smoothly. What that means? They're working, they're not sleeping. Like some IMA, sorry to be direct, but some IMA is sleeping too long. They need to wake up all. Withdrawals can be successful, error has been fixed. You see, it was not be fixed, now it's fixed after 1 week. And of course, this is ongoing parallel work. It will happen some weeks. They needed to synchronize blockchain and back office and Dealshaker. That was some, not problems, but was not so stable. So they working on that, couple of weeks they will work on that. Liquidity account finalized. What mean liquidity? I will be faced that. There is some independent, account which is made from which company will inject fiat currency into exchange for 9 months, because we know that there is a need for demand for the coin after the exchange. We will make that demand we need to make, but of course there is a need some of the budget where from where will some fiat currency will be injected into exchange to help us. So that will be for 9 months. And we will talk about this specifically, our master distributor. You can see payment gateway, still no response about central bank. So there is a wait which payment gateway will be, and some requests sent to some countries. Then another week, 4 weeks, May 31st. Still ongoing parallel work for stabilizing up synchronization between. Okay. Now what is finalized here? Connection between the exchange and all Dealshaker is finalized. You can see for May 31st, that connection between exchange and Dealshaker is finalized. Great, that's the progress. Team is currently testing the system, and we can go. This is very, very interesting. It's technical thing about what central bank IT team also required is some plans. Business continuity plan, contingency disaster. Business continuity is backup plan. What happens when exchange crash down? What will happen? So need a backup plan to somebody else take that and run the exchange in that cases. So there is business continuity plan, contingency. If that happens to the company, if something happened to the company who run exchange, who will take over and continue? So that's another plan. And disaster recovery plan, when servers crash down, completely down, who will run the servers? So you see, those are very serious plans, and you will see those of two. Business continuity, contingency are done, disaster will be literated. And then proposal for fees are provided to the central bank. Still no response about payment gateway. And companies sent to some countries, even Serbia, I can see Indonesia, Sudan, request come to operate. And this is what is important in this week. Application for European license initiative. In application for subsidiary done. What is application for subsidiary? Exchange company needed to make a daughter company, one more company, and because central bank required that exchange company have another company, it's called subsidiary company, in the country where a license need to be obtained. So practically they must do that. Exchange company need to do another company where is license required. And we're going to week 5. Still ongoing parallel work on stabilization, test accomplished successfully. Now you can see, according to central bank, they need to make a site visit. So they need physically to have meeting with exchange company to finalize some things. So central bank want to make sure that exchange company exists physically in the country of license, which is normally that the exchange company have that offices and the central bank can visit it and speak about it. You can see here, disaster recovery plan approved, contingency plan approved, business continuity plan still in process. This is still in the work. When something happened with exchange, when exchange crash, who will take over? So for that, they still need some time to fix. You can see exchange fees still need to be discussed, so not done yet. I spoke about liquidity account. That account will be, from that account, it will be taken some cash, some money to inject in exchange when it's needed, because there is a need for demand for the coin. If there is no demand, nobody will sell coin. That's obvious for all, I suppose. And then regarding the European license, I will be short here. Practically, that subsidiary application, exchange company made, daughter company, it's approved. Embassy approved, Ministry of Justice approved, Ministry of External Affairs approved, and that is everything stamped and signed. And then they started about next process about the European license. You will see in week 6, you can see now, stabilization of the synchronization between blockchain and back office is done. So they done that. Now you saw all of this. Company wants some additional mechanism based on OneEcoSystem because it's the point to coin price would be stable, not volatile like Bitcoin, because it need to be a stable currency if we want to use it globally and buy things through the Dealshaker. No such a merchants like this kind of price volatility like Bitcoin, then it's not a currency in digital form. That's not something which we want. That's why they're working on additional mechanism to stabilize that price, to have that mechanism. So it's working on that. For physical meeting, still they need to be put. You can see, still business continuity plan about what happens when exchange crash still need to be done. About payment gateways need to be made next week. So it's talk about which payment is best for OneEcoSystem, still talk. For exchange limits proposal, you can see about next week. All legal papers about exchange daughter company, you can see is notarized, authenticated, and uploaded and paid. So practically exchange company done with their daughter company, and everything is notarized and finished. And next step is approval by authorities. Then application for the exchange license. That's the next. In week 7, June 21st, still they're working on how to stabilize the price, all those mechanisms, and still waiting for date for physical meeting with central bank. And you can see here, after some weeks, that plan about what happens when exchange crash, it's ready now and submitted, which means it's done. Yes, it's required 2-3 weeks, but it's done. That's the great progress. People saying there is no progress. I see a lot of progress here. So then you can see, according to the central bank, members of exchange company should attend a seminar. That seminar was for anti-money laundering and combating finance and terrorism. That's a very important one. So it's required for exchange company, not our company, exchange company, to be on that seminar. And you can see about payment gateway, one of the multinational financial service corporation was in the game. It's never mind now, that's ongoing negotiation about those payment providers and about exchange limits. That is still ongoing discussion. This is some, I will send after this talk because I require a lot of time to go through. I will send those. This is summary of the summary. I made this to be even easier for people to read. So I will send the links after my speech so you can get it. You can see daily cash limit for sell orders is complex formula. Let's not get into mathematics now. It's pretty complex. It's all explained, but it's pretty complex how that will be calculated. What we need to know is that we, as a users, don't know how many coins is in circulation. And company know that, and they will see how many coins users and merchants put on the sale, and then they will know exactly about everything else. So they have numbers, not us. So let's not confuse each other about those formulas. Limits for selling can be applied by account or by group of accounts. As many IMS has a lot of accounts. So that will be decided about that. Still to know limits and priorities of selling is still not decided. Let's still talk about it. Final talk, what will happen. European company was approved, you can see, and they created new company. So exchange company made another company where central bank will visit it. And that is authorized, finished, and everything is done about that. Week 8, still work, and this is very important. People asking for limits for sending the coins. Limits for sending the coins from one wallet to another wallet through the within One Life network, you can see there is no limits because that's internal transfer. So after the exchange launch, because it will be licensed with remittances also licensed, then there will be no limits for sending through the one-lifers, and that is very great for us. For those fees, how many fees we will pay for fiat currency for one coin to send, that need to be decided at the end with central bank. At the moment, there is no info for that yet. And you can see seminar for exchange company for anti-money laundering was set for July 14 to 16. And you can see for payment gateway, protocols are sent to 3 payment gateways, which is great. Regarding the European license, the company was created successfully and license application was sent this week. This license procedure lasts 30 days. That's very important, 30 days, and you will see now what's happening week 9. Central bank will allow the platform to trade and exchange a limited number of coins. What that means, that central bank will choose and they approve which coins, cryptocurrencies, and fiat currencies will be allowed to be traded. When you see some exchanges in the world and saying they're saying they have the license, yes, maybe they have, but you can ask them if they have license to be traded on that exchange. That's very different thing. Having the exchange, having license for exchange, and having the license to trade your coin on the exchange. If you don't have license to trade your coin, you're illegal. That's very important to people know about that stuff. And also for Dealshaker, franchise countries were reviewed as well, and it was sent to responsible authority. So when companies send to authorities and countries about license, about exchange, they also sending about Dealshaker franchise model, which is very important. One exchange and Dealshaker going with each other. It's normal because if there is no possibility to country large exchange, there is no point, from my point of view, to have Dealshaker franchise. Then for European license, 3 applications together are under processing, and there is positive sign in the approval of central bank to open a bank account for that. And for key points in week 10, you can see, I will go through the main point. Exact date of physical meeting with central bank is planned to be announced after the completion of anti-money laundering seminar. So we will see that also business plan is shared with European responsible authority to be included in the license. This is important. Negotiations about the crypto trade are ongoing, which means they negotiate which cryptocurrency can be traded and obtain the license, because we need to have the license to be. I know that some people can ask, what about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other? How they have license? Why they are? Those are conventional cryptocurrencies. Behind the Bitcoin, there is no company. There is no somebody who will go central bank and speak about how to get a license for it. Exchange are those who get it, but those are conventional cryptocurrencies. For other cryptocurrency, new one, who don't have the license for it, and especially which are centralized model, as OneCoin is, there is a must to work with central banks and to be totally legal, because that's the only way to do it on the right and the compliant way. You can see about this customer due diligence platform. They said, okay, it's not mandatory to start when exchange starts. It can start even in mid-September after the full payment has been settled. So that platform is another one which is not mandatory for exchange to start. So, which means exchange can start and those another platform can start later, no problem. And full demo access and video for the exchange platform is required to be provided to the central bank when they visit that site, when they visit their office, which they make. And you can see that training are completed, anti-money laundering seminar is done, exchange company got those certificates, which is must for them, and they did that, and A big applause for them. We have what we need. And of course, what we have here, next step is expected the site visit. So the central bank meeting with the exchange company, that is what is needed now. They need to visit each other physically and to finalize those things, which are mostly minor things now. You can see that we're still waiting the date to be communicated by the central bank. And what this, listen to this, once the site visit is completed, and if all the small details are clear out, then the exchange company will receive temporary permission allowing to open a bank account and allowing to start the setup and operation, which means when it's all clear out after the physical meeting and all okay, then green light can be put out and everything can start. We got some answers from Germany and South Africa about licenses. You will see we don't have time about that. 2 applications for license already been submitted, currently being processed. And this is important, bank account opening was agreed with 1 bank and is currently being processed. So with 1 bank is now negotiation and about opening the bank account and everything. Let's go to the final things. Week 12, you will see here. This is done. So that mechanism about how the coin price be stable is done. So practically they have solutions about that. Still need to be done about limits, exchange limits, based on liquidity. This need to be done. What limits will be for selling. Demo access and video for exchange is finished and they provided to authorities. So that demo to authorities see is provided to them. What we're waiting now still is the exact date of the site visit by central bank. So that physical meeting, that will be, I will say again, something which is very new for even me. You will see the information which is very important. Exchange limits still need to be discussed. Now is discussion with 2 new payment gateways. It's very important about payment, about deposit, withdrawals, which debit cards, which payment system will be used. This is very important for smooth flow of the one currency and the cash. Bank account opening. Next week need to be, you can see, it's everything filled, signed, stamped, and sent back. And that meeting with bank team need to be next week. So that's the work about with opening the bank account. And this is waiting. We're waiting to get approved about the list of currencies which will be traded. You saw some cryptocurrency, some fiat currency, but it doesn't mean that all of those will be at the start of the exchange. So that's the work. We will see which central bank will approve at the end, which cryptocurrency for the start and which fiat currencies. So it will be known for everybody. Now is that process. And this is update. This is for everything new. Meeting with the authorities is set after 20th of August 2019. If everything pays good, the company will be able to start exchange after that period and after proper mechanism training and all the exchange functionalities. This is not guarantees or promises. A lot of obstacles can occur, but if everything pays good, after the 20th of August, that physical meeting needs to happen with authorities to finalize those minor things, and if everything goes good, everything should start. And we need to be ready for it and to work as never before. So I will finish with this. I didn't watch time. Sorry if I break the time. Now I am sure that you will want to listen also Khabib, our master distributor, our main guy, and I will let him now speak. I hope that you understand at least 1% of this. I will send this now, this link to the chat, so you can go through all this summary of the summary, and with some, you can see with red numbers, letters are pretty important things. Green one are done things, so you can go through after the webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daskan. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Right. This is a summary of the past 12 weeks of report. If you can understand it well, like just how Deskin explained to you, you would not have any so much question asked in the chat room. So I really sincerely suggest that all of you read the Friday report again. You can actually see from the first, second, third until the 12th report, there are actually real progress and action change. So we have to look forward to what is happening next and register that, and then you can explain to your team and to your members, and not just simply ask one question when the exchange is open. It is not ready, and the company is really working very hard towards that. Many people will think that the exchange open and that's it, that is end of the whole project, but it's the reverse. The opening of the official start of the exchange for us is just the beginning of the cryptocurrency called OneCoin.